Hi everybody, Manny with Classic Auto Repair. We're looking at a 69 Chevrolet Chevelle. We are going over as a new customer inspection. We did the top side video now. We did the bottom side yesterday. And we're just gonna go over the items that we found and that were added to the estimate based on the customer list, as well as items that we found during the inspection. Just kind of looking up underneath the hood, the customer requested a quote on cleaning up the engine bay. Some areas are looking really good, just need some cleaning and polishing, like the inner fenders. The motor's in pretty good shape, but it could use a detail, power wash, clean up the aluminum, paint some of the block, the water pump, some of the engine components, maybe spray up in here on the frame rails, clean all that up. Exhaust pipes can be scuffed and shot in high heat black. It won't last, but it does give a coating protection to the raw metal that's on these exhaust pipes. Another option is to remove the pipes, replace with like a ceramic coated pipe. However, that is very labor intensive, and there's nothing wrong with these pipes at this time. Cleaning up underneath the hood, polish it, get all the old dirt off of it. Back firewall clean, paint any parts like the wiper motor, tape up any exposed wiring, scuff the rust off of the master cylinder and booster, repaint them. Steering column detail and paint, again paint up the frame rails up in here where it's dirty. Scuff, sand down some of this front radiator support and panel support. Maybe dip this in acid and strip off whatever's on there, because it's kind of a rough texture on there. See if we can get that off of there, glass bead it, and then repaint it in black. Treat all the hoses. They're new, but they just look like they're in bad shape. Just clean up all the hoses, put some treatment on them, and that'll get the engine compartment looking as good as the exterior and interior of the vehicle. We will be showing an option to upgrade the climate control, which will give us all new components here, so we can get rid of this mess here, which is the expansion valve. It's got two valve ports. It's missing and exposed to the environment, so that means air is getting into the system, traveling through the pipes, into the compressor, into the dryer, which has special stuff in it that keeps moisture from building up. Well, that's bad now that it's been exposed to the environment. The condenser is bad, which is this big radiator looking thing that cools down the Freon during the chemical exchange, but it won't do that with garbage inside of there. There's a very small expansion valve like this one that has a small needle, and if there's any kind of contaminants in there, it'll plug that orifice and it'll keep your air conditioning from working correctly. So what I did was I quoted a recommendation to replace all of these parts and components that are failed, and we will remove this whole unit right here. We can box it up for the customer, and then we install a new evaporator case, and all the hoses come out of the same hole that's here, so there's no drilling, but we put an upgraded air conditioning climate control system. It has computer controlled servos, just like new cars. It uses 134A Freon like new cars. It's not bad for the environment, easy to get the Freon, versus the R12 Freon they used back in the late 60s is R12, and it runs a couple of $100 a can. And if you have any leaks, of course, you got to replace that every season. So it's a definite worthwhile investment. If you're going to drive the car, you're going to get more usage out of it by having it during our summer months. You know, Texas is warm. So somewhere around March, end of March, early April, you're already wanting to have that air conditioning going, and you'll use it all the way up to about September, October. So a big chunk of the year, air conditioning can help you enjoy this vehicle more, get it on the road, and have better components that are not going to drag the system down like it did in the 60s with poor engineering and basically the best they had at the time. But we would offer a new unit that mounts up underneath the dash. You can't see it. It goes into the original control levers in the dash, so you replace the dash control head. put all the vents to the original venting of the dash. So it looks very original. It performs very well, and it'll give you air conditioning, and heat will be coming from a control valve that goes to the evaporator. It has its own heat system in it, and defrost will work better than it ever has before. So again, an item that was added to the list was climate control upgrade there. So motor itself is looking like it's in pretty good condition. It's got an electronic fuel injection system on it, and one of the customer complaints is that the idle or the throttle cable is sticking. I don't see any frayed cabling, and the only thing that I see is there's no return spring attached to here. There should be a spring from here to here, and that's what gives the tension to the throttle. Right now you barely touch on the gas pedal and this thing launches as if you're pushing the pedal to the floor. So we need to get some tension back on here and adjust it so that I can road test it more, make sure that the throttle isn't sticking once we get all the right parts back on the system. As far as how it operates, it's working good right now. It starts up well. It's got some new spark plugs in there. Spark plug wiring, ignition system has been upgraded, so it's looking like it's in good shape. It has a painless wire harness, which is a big upgrade on these cars, which gives you all new wiring. And it looks to be done in a professional way. Everything is covered in conduit. Some things like this, you want to get away from the exhaust and strap it up out of the way, because anything close to the exhaust has to be high heat coverage, or we have to wrap it in something. Otherwise, you're going to have drivability issues there as well. Alternator is updated. It's got a serpentine belt system on it. So this was probably a late model engine crate motor that was dropped in here. None of this was original. Aftermarket, just like the radiator has been upgraded to an aluminum radiator with electric fans. This is exactly the way you want to have this system if you're running air conditioning, especially, or driving it in Texas. It's got some stereo stuff here. That's what this cable, this is a fuse, primary fuse that usually goes to an amplifier in the back. We would be doing something similar to this, and providing a complete stereo package, and I have quoted that. And what that includes is it includes a dash speaker upgrade, which instead of having the small skinny paper speaker here, you get two 3.5-inch coaxial speakers right up here. The kick panels are replaced. We keep these and box them for you, the original ones, but we'll install new kick panels, and they have a little shallow thing that goes here for the 6.5-inch speakers that I would recommend. So you're going to have kick panel speakers here that sound really good. You'll have a dash tweeter coming here for the high frequency vocals. These are good over here, 6.5-inch for mid-range and high frequency as well. And then in the back deck, this is damaged, and you can see from on top the bad job they did. You can see the duct tape they used to go around the edge of the speaker. Very poor job. The panel itself is buckling here in the middle. My recommendation, remove all of this, get rid of the speakers, put a new package tray, mesh package tray that has the holes in it. They're small little perforations, so they're not real obvious. And you mount the speakers from underneath. The panel is flat, looks stock original. But it does have the ports so that the sound can travel through the package tray. Much better, cleaner installation. Will give you a better view from outside of the cars how this looks. And you can see the damage and stuff where they put duct tape and try to make the most of this piece of cardboard here. We would replace that with a professional and original part, so that would fix that. And again, we'd mount the speakers up underneath a new set of 6x9 speakers. So it'll be a match system. It'll have an amplifier in the trunk. We'll route new wiring under the carpet, professional gauge wires, none of that stuff that they send with the speakers. We actually use better quality, heavier gauge wire for better sound quality and durability. One of the items that we talked about a little bit on the bottom side of the car were all the holes that are in the floor pans, which allow heat to go through. But basically, All of these cars with headers and exhaust systems right next to the floor pans are going to generate a lot of heat right here on the floor as well as in the tunnel. So one of the things that we do and offer is a removal of the carpet. First of all, look at the carpeting. It's faded right here from the sunlight. You can see how light it is. We would clean this and then re-dye it black while we had it out of the car, because you got to remove the carpeting, remove the seats, kick panels, seal plates, back seat belts, take everything out so we can get the carpet lifted, and then we'll clean underneath it and we'll install a heat barrier product that not only deadens the heat but the sound that travels through it. So you're going to get a quieter ride. It'll be less road noise and provide a much better solution to keep the heat from entering the cabin. Another item is to make sure all the grommets are installed up underneath the firewall. If there's any openings there, well, then you just have hot air just blowing right into the cockpit as well. So that's my stereo system upgrade. We would, that's the speaker side of it. The stereo side is we would install an original looking. It has even the AM, FM dial that looks like the original GM product. But inside is a Bluetooth stereo, state-of-the-art, connects to a smartphone, so you can take phone calls, you can stream your music, MP3 music, or the music from Spotify, or any of those music stations, Apple Play. All that will go through the stereo for sound and give you digital quality on the output. And with that 6-speaker system with an amplifier, you're going to get good sound. Unfortunately, the last installer cut up the bezel, the dash bezel, to a point where it's not salvageable because they put a DIN chassis radio in here, never the right size. It's supposed to have 2 holes for the knobs to go through and hold the radio in. So my recommendation here is to remove this entire cluster. It goes all the way from the other end of the dash. It's a panel. Remove it, which takes some labor. And install the new panel, which will give me the right receptacles for a radio that looks of the period but still has state-of-the-art function. While we're in here, if we do install the air conditioning system, this is kind of faded and looking kind of poor condition. This is your original control head. We would replace this with the new model that comes with the new air conditioning heat system. So it would be electronic control, not cable driven or vacuum driven. And it would actually work. Your air would actually travel through your ventilation that you have built into the dash. So they wouldn't look like anything aftermarket. The unit itself tucks right up under here where the original AC system is. An evaporator case is right here. We would take that out and put the new system right there. While we're in here, this is the control panel for the electronic fuel injection. Again, it's working the way that it should, just needs some adjustment and a tension spring added to the fuel injection unit. This has a upgraded digital dash system, Dakota Digital. We put a lot of these in. Unfortunately, most people don't know how to make them work. And in this case, it's exactly the same thing. All the gauges work except for the speedometer. Road testing showed that it wasn't registering, so as we saw on the undercarriage video, I need to do some diagnostics, which would allow me to test the sensor to see if there's a pulse output coming from it, or we have to replace that sensor because it was connected incorrectly and burned up the sensor. So got a little work to do there, so I need approval on diagnostics time so I can do that to find out the solution for you there. All right, so that's the digital dash side of this. I checked the horn, wipers, turn signals, indicators, lighting. All the functions inside of the vehicle are operating as they should. Don't have any issues or concerns there. One thing we did have to do is put a strap on the inside door handle because the outside rod is not connected to the latch. At some point during its travels over here to the shop, that rod came off, so we'll have to remove the door panel and make the fix. Usually it's because it has a broken retainer clip. They're made out of plastic. We'll install a new one and get that door so you can open it from the outside, lubricate all the mechanisms inside while we have the panel off to make sure everything is working smoothly and isn't causing any kind of binding issue on the latching system. Let's see. So that's pretty much it. Headliner's in good shape. Dash pad is in good shape. Overall dash condition is okay. There's a little bit of scratching going on right here that we could scuff and paint if you desired to improve the cosmetics on the dash. But there's not a whole lot exposed that won't be replaced with a new. This whole half of the dash would be replaced with a new part and improve the look there, so you wouldn't have an issue. One of the items was the seatbelt anchoring system. It's got some rust on the clips, and it's missing the back cover plates. I can try to see if I can locate a couple of those. No promises there, but we can paint that, clean it, and paint it black so it's not sticking out. We can steel wool the chrome buckle, which removes most of the surface rust, and then wax it so that it doesn't continue to wax. And that's what you're seeing around a lot of the visors and stuff. It just needs some steel wool, a little elbow grease, and you can improve these older chrome finished products because they used good quality chrome back in the 60s and 70s. So a lot of it can be restored without replacement. Back seats are in good shape. I don't see any issues other than the one tear right here at the top. Not much. I'm not an interior guy, but there are guys that can fix this. They can put some special material, vinyl that's liquid, and they mend that tear. I can put you in contact with our upholstery guy if that's something that you may want to look at. Like I told you about the rear deck, we will be fixing that, and this fabric here needs to be re-glued to the panel that's on there, that bracket. It needs to be re-glued on there. I checked out this part right here and researched the label. It's an old security system, and that was part of it. It's missing a lot of parts, so my recommendation there is to go with a new security system, which I have quoted as well. That'll give you ignition kill when it's activated. There'll be a flashing light as well as a siren in the event that the motion detection goes off. Somebody's moving the car, bumping against it. It's got a 2-stage sensor for that. When the doors are opened or closed, it sets off a circuit that allows the alarm to be triggered and turn on the siren. But the most important thing is it does kill the ignition when it's activated, so there's no way for them to start the motor unless they bypass completely, which is a lot of time and a lot of noise. When the security siren is tucked up underneath the hood, there's a lot of time loss, so you'll get some notification there. You can also put a GPS locator in these vehicles. You can find them on Amazon. They basically just slip up underneath the dash and allow your phone to track the car in the event that you ever need to follow it somewhere. Let's see. Up under here, I think I've covered everything on the mechanical side of the under hood compartment here. I think we're looking pretty good. Exterior, we talked about the rust points on the other video. Top of it looks in real good condition. Don't really have any issues. Bumper chrome isn't the best. It looks like original. The chrome is faded a little and definitely scratched. We can look at quoting an upgrade for that if that's something that you're interested in as well. Could use some little paint touch-ups, here and there. We could order a custom match paint in urethane. I can put it into a touch-up bottle for you so that as time goes, you'll have an easy way to touch up any paint chips that you may get while you're driving the vehicle. But otherwise, like I said, the exterior is in pretty good condition. I'd grade it probably a 7-8 on exterior finish. A good drivable paint job, not something you have to worry that every rock that's thrown in the air while you're cruising around is gonna give you heartache for that $40,000 paint job. Instead, you got something here that's nice, presents itself very good and looks great, but it's probably 1 or 2 steps down from a show quality or one of the expensive paint jobs where you're not seeing any surface scratches or orange peel. This does have that on it, and in the proper light you can pick up on that. But outside in the sun, it looks great. It polishes up really nice. It's got all the right moldings, windshield wipers, windshield itself's in good condition, glass is in good condition. It's got the sill moldings, the rear glass moldings are on it, and I don't see any dents. Rear taillights could use a replacement. These are faded and fractured. As you can see here, the lines. This should be a brighter red. So maybe another exterior improvement would be to put some taillights on this car. It's something that's very prominent. Not a lot going on back here, but those big taillights. So an update on those would really freshen up the rear of the car as well as that bumper. It's got some nice wheels and tires on the back, 18-inch. The fronts are more traditional stock diameter, probably a 15. Let's see what we're running here. Well, it's a 2-ply polyester steel. Let's see. 235 60 R15. So again, you need the smaller diameter wheels to fit inside of here. Otherwise, you're going to get a lot of rubbing, a lot of hits, and a lot of noise when you're going up and down bumps. Right now, it has just a very minimal amount of impact on a high bump during my road testing. Got a bent fender trim molding here. You can see right there, it's a little bent up. Somebody must have hit that at some point. These are very available and easy to replace. Nice weekend job, just a screwdriver, you can pop one of those on there. Front bumper, kind of the same situation. Doesn't look like it's been replaced. It's got a lot of scratches and fading in the chrome, probably original. A lot of scratches here. Bumpers are available for these models, so I can throw a quote in there as well for the front and rear bumpers as an item to be replaced at some point. Emblems look good, that they've been replaced. The striping looks good. But again, just some little touch-ups here and there. You can see where the paint needs some touching up. It's got the hood bumpers on it, which is good. That'll keep the hood from moving around and chipping the paint. But just the day-to-day use, you're gonna see some scratches. So one of the things we can include here is an exterior touch-up, custom paint mix. Take care of that. Maybe look at this pitted grills. You can see where the chrome is coming off of these grills. Hood grills, we can replace these. They have these available new, which will improve the appearance of the chrome on the outside. Antenna's in good shape, don't need anything there. Weather stripping has all been replaced with new and is in good condition. That's a very expensive thing, and someone's already gone through those expenses on that. As I said about the touch-ups, I think I pointed this out on the undercarriage video, but you can see from, usually the seatbelt buckle gets left on the outside of the door and causes a scratching that you see here. So make sure your seatbelt is tucked in when you get out of the car, and we can do some touching up here so this is not noticed at all. We need to, like I said, we need to make this door button work. Right now it was stiff when it first got here, but now it doesn't even open the door, so needs some work there. It's got the nice SS emblems on it. And that's about it for this review of a 1969 Chevy Chevelle. Hope you enjoyed watching, and I will be in touch soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.